Hello, I'm Anna Mackay, and this video is the start of the series called Discrete Random Variables in Binomial Statistics, and this video is called Random Variables. So a bit of a refresher here. What is a random variable? Well, it's an outcome of a random experiment. We represent it by capital letter X, and it uses numbers. So as this topic is called discrete random variables, that's going to be this type of random variable. So let's just think about what the other one is so that we can tell the difference. A continuous variable is something that can be measured. So think of things like heights of students in a class. Heights is a classic one for continuous variables. Heights, weights, times, that sort of thing. So heights, imagine somebody might be 150 centimeters tall, or they could be 150.5 or 150.54 centimeters. So it depends on how you're measuring, and the degree of accuracy makes a continuous variable. Whereas discrete is something that can be counted. So you could count the number of students in each class in the school, or the number of cars in the car park. Or a classic one is shoe size. If you were to measure the length of a foot, you might have, I don't know, 30 centimeters, 30.1, 30.14 centimeters. Whereas if you were to measure or be interested in shoe size, you might have 8, 8.5, 9, that they've got a distinct number of sizes that they could be. So that is called a discrete random variable. So moving on, we're going to do one example for this video, which will cover the main things that we need and for the questions that you'll be doing in your textbook. Okay, so we have 3 friends, we'll call them A, B and C, and they want to go to a party. They're allowed or not allowed to go. So sometimes in this topic we also talk about a success and a failure. So a success in this case would be being allowed to go to the party. So for my students, make sure you're writing down everything that you see on the screen. So identify the random variable being considered. You'll be asked this quite often in the questions that you'll be doing. And so we say that it's X, and we say that is what? It's going to be how many friends are going to the party. So the number, we often say. So for each question you do, think about if you can call it the number of somethings. So in this case, it's the number of friends going to the party. So each time you get asked to identify the random variable, it's X equals capital letter X, and think of if you can do it in terms of the number of something. You'll often be asked if the variable is continuous or discrete. If you can measure it, it's continuous. If you can count it, it's discrete. We can count the number of friends going to the party, so therefore the variable is discrete. We'll say why, because X has a set of distinct possible values. So discrete because X has a set of distinct possible values. So thinking about what type of values X is going to have, how many friends are going to the party, think of all the different outcomes, and that's what we're about to do next. List the possible outcomes and the corresponding values of X. So when you get asked to do this in your questions, think about what scenarios could happen. The friends are either going to the party or not going to the party. So there's 3 friends. If they all go, we would have X is equal to how many? 3. Another scenario, 2 friends go, 1 friend goes, or none of them go. So always try and consider if there's a 0 option. Sometimes that gets forgotten about. It is possible that no friends go to the party. So that they are the corresponding values of X. Now let's list the outcomes that go with them. So for 3 friends going, well, let's call them, as we said, A, B, C. So A, B and C could go. 2 friends going, we've got to think about the different combinations. So A and B could go. I'll put a cross for the one not going. You might have A and C going, but not B. And what's the other combination? We could have B and C friend going, but not A. The other combination, one friend going, so that could be friend A going, or B, or C. And we'll put crosses for the other friends not going. And then the last one, no friends going, 3 crosses. So if you get asked to list the possible outcomes, that's thinking about every scenario that could happen and what are their corresponding values. They're the corresponding values of X. How many friends, the number of friends that could go. So that's a discrete variable. And to finish off, lots of words, but quite a simple answer. What values of X correspond to exactly 2 friends going? Well, all they want you to do here is X is equal to 2. So we want 2 friends going. It doesn't say list the different scenarios, just the value of X that corresponds to that, and at most 1. So think about the combinations that we could have here for X. We could have 0 friends going, or we could have 1 friend going. So at most 1 friend also includes no friends going. Okay, so that's the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And the next video in this series will be a 2-part one, and it's called Discrete Probability Distributions. Thank you.